Hey y'all, this is Chelsea from Renaissance Earth. We're an urban family doing our best to start where we can and live our homestead dreams right where we are. And it is 63 degrees and sunny outside, so I thought it would be a perfect day to finally get out our first YouTube video. Yay! Get excited and nervous, but also excited. I thought a really great thing for this first video might be to sort of show you around what I like to affectionately call our town homestead. It's not picked up at all, no judgments. It's a little bright out here, but hey, it's not raining, so I won't complain. Behind me, you can see what is our main growing space. It is a little space out in front of our townhouse, which does face south, so that's really nice. But it is pretty much the only growing space we have, and because of the way the landscaping situation works here in our townhouse neighborhood, it has to all be in containers. And as you can probably guess, a lot of the gardening advice you get a lot of times is really focused on what's being in the ground. So we've had to sort of adapt and change things over the years, and I would say it's been moderately successful. But this year we want to do something a little different, and that is to just really throw ourselves into it. We don't expect that we're really going to grow any appreciable amount of our food from here, but it's more about learning. It's about using this time before we finally buy our land and do our big real homestead to really learn what we can exactly where we are. When you think about it, we're going to have tomato pests here just like we'd have in a garden, and we can buy tons of green beans at the grocery store and can them even though we didn't grow them. So that's what we're going to do this year, which we're really excited about. We're kind of calling it our homestead boot camp or homesteaders in training, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. I'll step over here and kind of show you a little bit more detail, although since a lot of you are probably kind of curious about a lot of these things, I plan to go into them more detail later. Behind these orange things here, they're called Garden Tower 2 from the Garden Tower project. They're pretty cool. Solid column of dirt with a column in the middle for vermicompost, a little drain in the bottom to catch all the nutrient tea, and little drawer you can pull out to catch the compost later. It's pretty neat. That's really our main growing space, and what we've been using for the most amount of time. Right here, we've got things that were new to us last year. They're called the Paul potato. They were a Kickstarter for growing sort of potatoes in a vertical, towery type situation. I'm not really sure how I feel about them so far. The research I've done since then about how to grow potatoes, I'm not sure each one of these is really deep enough. But I'm gonna try it again one more year now that we're like really throwing ourselves into this gardening thing and trying to actually do it every day and take care of things. We'll see how it goes, and I'll report back. This thing here behind me might be tied for, if not win, my favorite thing. It's not quite as much grow space as the garden towers, but I really love how it's still sort of a flat space, like a normal sort of raised garden bed. It's called an earth box, and I also really like, it's gonna be kind of hard to see in the video, but I can even see that. Anyway, there's a tube right here for putting in water, which is really convenient because it fills up at the bottom and the roots can get the water without it really evaporating from the top. It also means you can skip watering for a little while and not worry about it too much. We have a couple of these and I've been really happy with them so far. They even sell sort of trellising pieces for it, but we don't have them yet, though I'm thinking about it this year. You'll see why in a minute. This is our front porch, which is covered and lovely. Not all the houses in our neighborhood have this, but back there you can see these rain barrels that I got and never finished hooking up to the actual gutters. I haven't really figured out how to do that in a way that is still in compliance with our HOA rules, so it's been sitting there for almost a year now. Maybe we'll actually get that working. And then this way, you can see, kind of bright, but you can see this is our main sort of seed starting shelf. In the past, I've just sort of started the seeds there and hoped that the bricks and stuff kept them warm, and for the most part they've actually done pretty well even without any sort of covering. But I think this year I might get one of those sort of plastic covers to really make it sort of like a greenhouse. since I'm starting more seeds and taking them more seriously, as you can probably see here, these were part of last year's seeds that I started in the fall and then never planted. So they all died where they were. But, you know, what are you gonna do? So this back here is our back patio. Lots of space, and actually we can pretty much do whatever we want with it since it's fenced in. But unfortunately it's on the north side of the building and tons of trees everywhere, so not so great for the growing things. And as you can probably tell, we don't come back here very often. That giant branch fell down, I don't know, maybe a month ago. I'm not really sure, but we haven't done anything with it. Previous branches that have fallen out of this here, tulip poplar, anyway, actually destroyed our table we had back here. It was a glass top and it fell right through it and smashed it to bits. Now we just have a couple of the chairs left, which we like to sit in every so often when the kiddo is playing out here. But I will show you the one space we do have back here that sort of works for growing things, and I'm really excited to get some stuff started in that soon. So in this back corner of the yard here, we actually get a pretty decent amount of light from the western side of the house, so there aren't that many trees. So this corner kind of gets a decent amount of light throughout the day. So we have a third tower back here, as you can see, another earth box, and yet another rain barrel hooked up to nothing. But this is where we tend to grow our greens and stuff like that, since it's cooler, shadier. They don't need as much sun, well, at least not hot direct sun. They actually prefer not to get the hot direct sun. You can see last summer's attempted Brussels sprouts that we never did anything with, and then we just let them keep growing. They've actually got little knobs on them now, so I don't know, I might just let them go and see what happens with them this year. We actually built this little space right here, built it up because it was sort of slanted, filled it with dirt. I've considered planting things directly in the dirt here, since this is basically our only spot we could grow things in the dirt. But I've sort of also decided that maybe we should just lean into the vertical gardening thing and go with it. I actually think I might take this other earth box here and bring it inside and try growing either a vanilla orchid or a peppercorn vine, since those are kind of tropical plants, but you can do them. This is sort of 1 foot by 2.5 feet. That should be enough for one plant of each, and if I add the trellis thing, keep it inside, they might actually grow up, and in the 3 or so years when they actually finally fruit, we'll have something lovely. Probably not a huge harvest, but it's more for the fun, isn't it? Anyway, I realized it was actually kind of really nice back here. I should come back here more often, but I figured I'd sit down and close out the video here instead of in the sun where it's really bright. I guess I just wanted to close by sort of explaining a little bit about why we're doing this. I've spent the better part of 7 years sort of being obsessed with homesteading, reading everything I can get, following different vloggers. I mean, more books and homestead designs and house designs I've mocked up and read. I just, more than any one person could probably use in a lifetime. But obviously it's just not been in the cards to buy our land yet, and that's fine. Honestly, we've had a hard couple of years family-wise, and I'm kind of grateful we chose a townhouse instead of the land right off the bat for our family, because I don't know how we would have kept up with it with everything that's gone on. But I'm sort of done just sitting and waiting, you know? There's a lot I can learn and really, really learn, not just read about, but actually try. And I've learned little bits of gardening stuff from trying it and failing at it for a few years now. But I'm gonna take it up a notch this time. Not just garden, but really tend my garden and try to learn how to make sourdough and can and dehydrate things and everything else, you know? I just think that life's too short to at least not start where you are and live your dream in whatever way you can, and the rest will come. So I think that's it for now. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching this. And if this kind of mission, this kind of story is something that interests you, I would love if you subscribe to the channel. I plan on putting out videos at least a couple times a week. sort of show you how our family is living this way as best we can in our 1,200 square feet with a patio. Travel to other farms, other local homesteaders, and just show you this journey of applying what I've learned, learning even more, and really planting and starting the seeds of living the life we want to live. Thanks so much for being here. Take care. Hey Ellie, what do you think we should grow in the garden this year? Think we should grow tomatoes? You like tomatoes? What about bell peppers? Which color bell peppers should we grow?
Orange ones.
Orange ones?
Yes.
Are those your favorite?
Yes.
Yeah? What about red bell peppers?
I like this orange and red.
Orange and red bell peppers?
Yes.
Well, okay then. I'm excited.